What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Project Motor Racing. Tonight's going to be all about answering your questions, showing the game off, seeing what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to maybe experience virtually through the screen. We had a request to run this Porsche GT4 car, so that's what we're doing right now. I'll shut up so you can hear the engine. Oh, get off the grass, get off the grass. What's up, Raven Hawk? I'm not a fan of this view, but I'll run it because some people like it. This does indeed come out on Tuesday. Oh, wrong gear. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Back out of this, and let's get started. So everybody, here we are, Project Motor Racing. Hopefully you've caught some of my videos earlier today. We did a quick first initial look at 8 o'clock where we ran a GT3 race here at Canadian Motorsport Park. Kind of favorite to it because, well, I kind of know the track. Anywho, we've also run through lots of things. I have obtained my ranked multiplayer license, so you have to qualify basically to run ranked, and then once you do, you can get into the ranked lobby. I was looking earlier, nobody's registered for any ranked races right now, which is a little bit of a shame. As you can see, ranked races do run on a time frame schedule, so you will need to basically register for these, wait for the appointed time, and well, jump in and do the race with whoever might be registered. I think the feedback feels fine. I think it feels fine. It does require a bit of tuning, and there's a couple places you can go and do that. We can go into the settings. We go to input device settings, and here we can, of course, see our wheel, make sure we're getting our wheel, make sure our throttle's working, make sure our brake is responding, as well as our clutch. We can also define some feedback force settings in here as well, but really the fine tune is going to be in the car. Each car is going to be able to tune the force feedback settings specifically to the car. So I think you're going to set your gross settings, and then you're going to go to the car and kind of tweak for what you want. We had a request for Mount Panorama. Take a look at Mount Panorama. So let's go ahead, take a look at all the tracks available on launch come Tuesday. We have a Brazina track. I honestly don't know where this track is. Italy. Okay. I learned today that some of these tracks are not using the official names. Canadian Motorsport Park is very much the official name. Spa is very much the official name, as is Daytona. Derby, I don't know what Derby is. I don't think it's Derby. Palami is official name. Lexington, I learned, well, that's Mid-Ohio. So some of these tracks are not using their official names while others are. Here we go. Mount Panorama Circuit. Let's go ahead and confirm that. For example, Northampton. That's Silverstone. It's Silverstone. We got Nuremberg. We have Nuremberg Ring. We have the Nuremberg 24 Hours, which includes the ring and the GT course. Right? San Marino. Sebring. Multiple track layouts at some of these tracks. We have Spielberg. That's in Austria. That is, that's the Red Bull Ring. That's what that is. That's the Red Bull Ring. Then we have Zolder and Sao Paulo. That's Brazil. Yeah. That's the track in Brazil. For sure, Z's. All right. Confirm that. What the hey? Let's just stay in the game while we're at it. We're gonna do a race weekend, so I might as well show you the choices. Right? We've got all of the cars, lots of cars, lots of car classes. We do have day one mods, which does include a car. There may be more cars coming. Quickly scroll through these cars if you haven't seen this list already. I've heard these Audis are absolutely overkill. Rumor has it they had to nerf the GT3 Audi, I think. This car looks like it has no tail end. Several Mazdas, Mercedes. Several Porsche. There, this car is a day one download mod. It's gonna be in the mod hub. I'll show you some of the day one mods here in a little bit. Where's this car at? That one. We have multiple liveries that we can run with. Let's just go with the most big and bold. Mount Panorama. We go here. We can select total opponents. We can have up to 31 drivers. We can adjust our AI strength. Mine defaults to 75 based on a setting that I put in when I loaded the game up. I picked intermediate. We can choose to be able to race with the identical vehicle or not. Same class, 31, or we can go in here, we can do multi-class racing. To do that though, we have to drop our class. So let's say we're gonna have 15 in the GT4. And then we wanna have, let's say 10 in the GT3 class. And what the hey, we'll just go with GT1. Let's fill that out with 6 GT1 cars. Yeah, sure. Why not? Confirm that up. We can configure our practice session, how long we want the practice. Do we want to have qualifying or not? How long we want it to be? How long do we want a race to be? Do we want it to be laps or timed? When do we want the race to start? Any time of the day. Maybe you want to run a night race. Maybe you want to start at midnight. That's fine. We can do that. Maybe you want to start early in the morning. Track condition. Do you want to have the damage model on or off? And do you want to start with pre-warmed tires? I'm just going to turn the damage model off for now. When do you want to race? Summer, autumn, winter, spring? What kind of weather do you want to run in? Random weather. Weather deviation. Basically, how big a deviation do you want? And if you do have weather deviation, how long is each weather pattern going to hold? And how quick does time progress? 10x speed means that for every 6 real minutes, a whole hour has gone by in game. Let's confirm that. Jump to our race weekend. And we're loading the track up. Oh my gosh, it's raining. All right, that's fine. That's fine. So, cockpit setup. We can come in here and we can modify various cameras based on movement, based on G-forces, speed, etc. We can modify our seat position. This is where we're going to adjust our FOV. There is an FOV setting in the main settings, but I don't know what that changes. I set it to different settings, jumped into cars, and it never did anything. So this is the one you're going to want to adjust per car. You want to move the seat forward, you want to see them move back, left, right, right, up and down. We can adjust our mirrors. Right? There we go. Do we want to see a steering wheel or not? If we show the steering wheel, we'll also have hands. Some people don't like that. I just turn the steering wheel off. That's fine with me. HUD setup. What do we want to see on our HUD? We can turn things on and off. And then HUD layout. We can move things around. Maybe I want the Delta down here. Maybe I don't want it up there. I want it down here. I can do that. So, pretty much you can move anything around that you want. Customize to your liking. We're going to go to vehicle setup. Steering. This is where we can adjust some force feedback and some handling, obviously. Per car, we can adjust feedback strength, rack feel, alignment boost, load boost, friction, and some other things. I do have a force feedback setup guide. I can kind of explain to you what some of these settings are. So, steering rack rate is going to be the steering ratio. The higher you set it, then the faster the wheel in-game will turn based on the wheel you physically have or your steering input on your controller. Steering stiffness changes how tight or loose the steering feels. Steering stiffness, in theory, might be the stiffer the better, but in practice, coupled with real-world force feedback devices, and there can be trade-offs. So too stiff can be noisy and spiky, too soft, you don't really feel anything. So that's really kind of feel of the force feedback, and you can really fine-tune in your steering stiffness there. Steering dampening, if you're getting a lot of jerking oscillations in your wheel, you can basically add some dampening to smooth that out. Under force feedback, you have strength. This is a per car setting. This is just how strong the force feedback is for that specific vehicle. So it's going to take the main settings, and then you can thoroughly enhance those per car. Rack feel is going to basically be how much you feel the steering rack move through the wheel. So you get a little bit of feedback. Yep, the wheels are definitely turning. The wheels are not turning. We've got reduced traction, so we're going to know that. Alignment boost, basically how much the wheels are self-aligning when grip builds or fades. So again, that can be a little bit of a feel on, is the front slipping? Is the front grabbing? Right? Where am I on the knife edge of traction? Load boost is going to boost your force feedback, and that's going to be based on, again, kind of your main settings. Friction is going to add kind of artificial friction to your steering wheel just to make it feel a little bit more firm, but you don't want to turn that up too terribly high. And now EQ, the EQ can be a little confusing, at least to me. I've not really fully absorbed it. It says like sound EQ for force feedback. This lets you shape which parts of the signal stand out. Okay, so which part of the force feedback really stands out. So low EQ is going to be heavy forces, weight transfer. Mid EQ is going to be bumps, slides, and loads. Then high EQ is going to be textures and curves. So if you want to feel the curves more, you want to turn up the high EQ. If you want to feel that you're sliding, then you want to turn up the mid EQ. And if you want to feel that, yep, the weight's definitely been transferred to the front of the car, then you're going to want to adjust the low EQ. Right, we got lots of this, suspension changes, drivetrain changes. All this is going to be dependent not only upon the car, but also upon the series. I really probably should be racing in the rain. I don't even know the button for wipers.
Clear of the pits.
This is going to be horrible. Because again, I don't know the wiper button. We'll have to look it up when we get somewhere. Hopefully the rain will end soon. Whoa, I forgot.
Pushing too hard on corner entry and the exit, mate.
Yeah, we are. Alright, let's get out of this before we get hit. Or we could just not try to drive in the rain with no experience on the track or the car. What's up, Alborg? Do we like the game? I think it's pretty good. I've been enjoying it since I had access to it. Let's talk about single player. So I showed a video earlier with respect to your career mode. All right, you start in here. Every choice matters. So the first thing you need to do is you need to give yourself a team name, driver name, and your headquarters. North America, Europe, Asia, or Australia. Now, depending on where you have your headquarters, is going to affect the price to travel to races, the price to enter races, and possibly the price to buy your cars. So once we confirm that, we've got several options with respect to our sponsorship model between rolling billboard or pace and multiple in between. Some of these where you get paid no matter what, how you perform. Some of these you only get paid if you win the race or if you have pole position and fast lap. Not so much where you finish, just make sure you finish with the fastest lap and you were on pole during qualifying. That's all the sponsor cares about. So lots of different models for how you're going to be paid. How much money do you want to have at the start? Between kind of a grind $100,000 to a I can almost buy anything $2 million. And then what do you want the difficulty to look like? Authentic. So this is for the full-on, yep, authentic race weekend. If you mess up, you're done. There's no restart the weekend. There's no, oops, let's restart the race and try that again. No, you're one and done. So that's authentic mode, or you get back to classic where you go, oops, I messed up. Let's just pretend that didn't happen and restart the race. We have our AI difficulty 100 all the way down to 1. I'm currently running at 75 in my career mode, and I'm finding that a bit too easy for me. So next series, I'm going to bump it up to 80, right? But you can go all the way up to 100 if you are so inclined. And then race length. We have the options of half or 4x, 3x, 2x, and 1x. So far, for me, the MX-5 series I'm in, races are 8 laps. I'm sure that's not going to hold throughout the more advanced series, but you can come in here and you can change your race length as well. Once you're all said and done, you're going to confirm, and it's time to buy your car. So we start out with $650,000, and you can see what these cars are going to cost, and basically which car could you afford. And based on the car you're going to be able to buy, is going to basically govern what series you are going to be running. Thank you for the sub there, New Lungs. Right, so $650,000 should get you a pretty good car, but you don't want to go and spend all your money everywhere, right? So I know Schultz likes his Audis. So we can buy our Audi. Yep. And once we've done that, now we can see, what do we want? So we have the GT3 World Championship. It's going to cost $85,000 to enter. $1.3 million is the championship purse. We have the United States GT3 Series. $57,000 to enter that one. Less money in that purse. Right. The German Series. $46,000. It's cheaper to enter this one because, again, remember, we are based in Europe. UK, $6,000 to enter. Pretty cheap. Not the best as far as money, though. Right? So lots of options here. No money at all. $170,000. These are just races. These are more one-off races and not series, right? So let's do this one. Sure, why not? Ching, we're down to $200,000. This is going to be a 5-round race. $12,000 to enter the race. 100 grand if we win. 85,000, 62,000, right? You don't want the GT Audi. Why not? Why not, dude? What's wrong with it? Oh, you know what this is? Is it? Yeah, this is, yeah, that's what this is. I'm not remembering it now, but yeah. And again, we have practice. We're going to have qualifying. We're going to have then our race. spectate once we're done our practice. Now, as far as performance goes, I've changed my graphics settings since the first video. We've got an update that improved performance a bit with respect to particles. So I've gone in and actually adjusted those. We're running 1440 borderless. I have locked the frame rate just for the fact that I don't need to be pumping my GPU at 100% because I need to encode, I need to stream, right? When we're in the menus, we're locked at 60, but I'm running basically a custom ultra setup where I did go down here and I did turn on DLSS to quality. I don't have frame gen on, but I did turn on DLSS for quality. Everything else is pretty much turned not all the way up, but pretty far up. You've got various assists, racing line on or off, and then your assists are typically going to be a force on or authentic. If you have it set to authentic, then it's basically going to be, does the car have traction control? If it does, then you'll have that assist. If it doesn't have it, then you won't have it. Or you can just say, you know what, I want traction control on everything. ABS, auto clutch, auto cut. I think that's going to be like auto stall, anti-stall. Auto blip is going to be blipping the throttle when you downshift. Trailing throttle, downshift protection is going to be to prevent you from downshifting when your RPMs or your speed are not at the right ratio for the gear. So, for example, at Canadian Motorsport Park, there's a point where you've got a really sharp turn at the bottom of a hill, and I had downshifted in the second too early. The rear locked up, rear spun me around because I downshifted too early. Had I turned on downshift protection, I would have downshifted, but the game wouldn't have allowed me to. So I'd been like, why am I not downshifting? Well, it kept me from spinning, is what it would have done. You'd have automatic upshifts, automatic transmission, or a manual transmission. Pit limiter can be on or off, and then your pit box indication can be on or off as well. Control bindings. This is where I should have went to look to see what's our wipers. Wiper toggle is going to be W. Okay, yeah. Or let's do this. Yeah, we'll just make it W. That's fine and dandy. Increase traction control, turn traction control off, set specific levels, right? You got all types of options here. Go ahead and save that. We're taking a look at that and your preferences. I want to make sure that this is saved it. No. W. Yes. Maybe that's conflicting. Yes, that's why. That's why. P. There. We'll do that because that's what it is for ATS. It's all about challenges. So this is going to be kind of what they call asynchronous play, where you are playing offline, but your results are uploaded to the cloud. And in the end, you can see where you stack up against everybody else. So for example, you can run a 43 lap LMDH race at Spa. You start 5th, and basically once you finish the race, what's your position, what car did you run, and how long did it take for you to run the race. And then we'll see how you stack up against everyone else. Right now, since we are in early access, no one's really run any of these races. So the leaderboard is blank. But what we do have is factory driver program. This is going to be hot lapping. Basically, we're going to run a hot lap, see what we get, and see how our times are stacked up against other people. So let's, for example, I did Lime Rock. We hot lapped at 57 seconds, and we're 5th on the list. We'll see how long I stay on this title screen once the game releases for real. Probably not that long at all. Let's go to yeah, let's run this one. Just see what we do. Schultz is going to live here in the hot lap category. Soft tires, give me the best advantage I can have. I want to make sure I'm at 60. Yep. So the top HUD says 1400. That is 2 p.m. That's going to be our track time. I do have the racing line on. Some people are staunch against it. I personally find it does help because I am not sim racing all the time. Of course, on the bottom right, we have our tire stats, tire temperature, tire pressure, tire type. This is where I downshifted too early. Locked those rears up and spun around. We got our RPMs there. We got our shift light indicator there. Bottom left, we have our track map. All right, let's see what we get. Not what I wanted to do. Of course, now we've got a hot lap. We see our delta up there. Are we better or are we worse than our last lap? Thank you for the sub, Valker. But really, we're just gonna run lap after lap after lap until we've decided that we're not gonna be able to improve anymore. Meanwhile, I'm smoking the tires. Of course, we have different views. I do not like any of these views. This is my preferred view. Let's see. How bad did we do? 117.9. Alright, that's cool. Puts us at the bottom of the rung. That's fine. We do have replay available. If you'd like to go back and watch your event, you can toggle different camera views. Right now, there is no photo mode. Alright, let's get out of here. I talked about Mod Hub. So we have an in-game Mod Hub under downloadable content. We have vehicles. So day one mod, we can download the Praga Bohemia. We also have packages. These are going to be DLCs. So they're obviously not going to be downloadable, but they are going to be DLCs. They can get either the pre-order bundle, the GTE Decade Pack, or the Group 5 Rival Pack, which is part of the Deluxe, I believe. We have downloadable liveries for various cars. We also have the ability to download an event. So GTO Daytona 250 Endurance Race. This is approximately a 90-minute endurance race for the GTO class. So we can download this. So we can kind of expand our gameplay with downloadable events. So quite possibly, players are going to be able to make, or modders are going to be able to make their own events that people can download and run. I also know from a developer that it looks like there's going to be curated car setups also available in the Mod Hub for you to download and run as well. With that, let's go check. Waleed, whoever Waleed is, let's run. All right, let's go join Waleed. Multiplayer lobby. This is obviously going to be a bunch of we're going to run that. Oh. What are we going to run, people? I kinda want to run this Corvette. Yeah, I want to run this. Sure, why not? So it's going to be a bunch of content creators here. Obviously, we're running this. I could run a GT3. So can we change our class? Yep, we can change our class. There we go. There we go. Hopefully we're not having to wait for 32 players to join. That would be frickin' forever. Let me post a message here. All right, I'll send a message over in the partner Discord. See if we get some folks. How can Waleed be 4 cars? Well, now he's going to left. Well, forget that. All right, so we have private lobbies. We have public lobbies that you can create. Let's go ahead and just create a server. Show you what it looks like. So we're going to create a server. You're going to pick your car. You're going to pick your track. You're going to pick, is it a public lobby or are you going to password protect it? What's the max players? Do you want to invite friends or no? Do you want to enable cross-play or not? Allowed classes. You know, multi-class racing. How do you want your assist to be? Penalties on or off. Damage model on or off. And use mods on or off. How long do you want practice, qualifying, and the race to be? What do you want the weather to be like? And create your server. Now we're just waiting for folks to join in. Fail to create lobby. Great. Way to demo this. There you go. Now we're just waiting. Right? We get enough people in here and then we hit ready and we're off to the races. Oh, we got somebody. Yeah. All right, we'll wait a little bit longer. So, zero ping. I'm guessing I'm hosting this locally. You could make the race time versus laps. Yes. All right, we're gonna wait for 5 people, or we're gonna wait 2 minutes, and then we're gonna jump. So Schultz, this is what we're gonna do: is we're gonna set private lobby for our multiplayer. We are, for everyone watching, we're gonna be hosting Saturday night races here on the channel. We're gonna live stream, and you do need to be a member of the Discord in order to join in on the fun. Here is our Discord link. So join away if you want to run multiplayer on Saturday nights with us. It's going to be a curated championship. So we're going to have a schedule. We're going to know what tracks we're running. We're going to know basically when we're going to run those per week. We're going to have point system. So everybody will get points based on your finishing rate. At the end of the championship, we're going to have obviously a winner. 1, 2, 3 for our championship. And it's all just for fun. During the week, you can practice. So you'll know what track to practice on. You'll know the conditions that we're going to set. And you can get ready. And then Saturday night, 8 p.m., I'm going to fire the server up. We're going to have so many minutes of practice, so many minutes of qualifying, and then we're going to run a race. That's going to be the night. All right. Let's do this. Let's have fun. So we ready up? 2 people are ready. As soon as they ready up, or I guess 38 seconds counts down, then we're going to be doing our thing. Oh, we are going to be running MX5s for this because we're going to have some folks that are going to be pretty new to racing in general. And they're definitely going to be new to PMR, and they can't really put in a ton of time practicing. So we're going to be starting with a beginner car, if you will. It's going to be a bit more forgiving. I don't use controller, so no, I haven't tried it on controller, but there are early access folks that have been using controller. Let's go to our cockpit. We're going to set our FOV to 60. Oh, we can actually see our mirror there. So we'll save that. We want to turn our steering wheel off. Yep. Okay, let's save that. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's see what this is like. I have never driven this car. up, Get Lousy? Those curves really upset the car. This is going to be available on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Coming out this coming Tuesday. Anyone on PC, I do have an affiliate link down in the description. If you want to go and use that, that'll be awesome. I mean, this is my second lap of this car, so I'm not expecting any world records here. Somebody took a bollard out. Ice, I am a partner with Giants, predominantly on the farming simulator part of the franchise. This is my second channel where we put other content, so how do I get it to download properly? I downloaded it. Yeah, I downloaded it just fine. If you're having issues downloading it, if you have access to a VPN, fire up a VPN, pick a European server to join, and see if you can download it better. No. People who have early access now are partnered with Giant Software and Straight 4. So if you've already downloaded the IMG file, double click on it, it'll mount it as a virtual disk drive. Go into that disk drive and select setup to install. And then once it's installed, you'll need to enter your code again in order to activate the software. Yes, you can run any car you want in the race weekend, basically the ad hoc race. Alright, that's good enough. Turn to the pits. Let's spectate somebody while we watch chat. Sure. Alright, let's see what's going on in chat. Yeah, so yeah, double click the image file, mount it as a DVD. I thought it drives pretty good. I've only got like 4 laps on it though. All right. I don't know. What do you mean by weird, Densley? Foggy? I didn't think so. Foggy as in right now, like in kind of the replay mode. It was pretty good in that first race I ran that had 31 drivers. We can run one real fast when we get done with this. I mean, the fence looks fine here. It does get a little sketchy off in the distance. That may be the DLSS that I got turned on. And also remember, we are dealing with YouTube compression here. So we could. So right now I'm running DLSS quality, no frame gen. Here we can turn on. We can go to that. See what you think of that. Does that feel any better? So yeah, let's all right, so if we go to vehicle setup, we can go to cockpit setup, and we can go to seating position. We can move our seat all the way forward, I guess, if you want. That is correct. So the partner code only works for the Giants installer. We can raise it and move it forward, maybe. Then you have your field of view options, so you can really crank up the field of view, I guess, and move the camera forward. But I don't know if you want to race like that. I do not have a way to turn on FPS that I know of. I've got mine locked. It's 90 anyway, for streaming purposes. So you can turn off things as well, and you can modify your HUD. Right, if you want to put this down here, or if you don't want to see what time of day it is, you can get rid of that. You can say snap to grid. So you can move all this stuff around if you want. Yeah, now as far as performance goes, so that's my system right now. But I got cores for days. I got 24 cores and 32 processors. So I don't really have a shortage of cores. Again, I'm frame locked, so I'm not overtaxing the GPU while I'm encoding. And we don't have really any AI drivers, right? FS is Farm Sim. tires got cold. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to read. You know, I haven't run the WSF yet, or
1 minute left in the
WFT.
session.
So the CPU utilization is really the byproduct of the physics engine, because from what I understand, each AI car may potentially get its own thread with respect to its physics and AI. So in theory, if you have a 32 car race, that's a whole lot of extra threads running each person.
This lap is the checkered flag. Session's over.
All right, session's over. Turn to pit. So, with respect to single player, so far in the single player that I've done, I've not had more than eight opponents on the track.
Clear of the pits.
And with respect to multiplayer, well, I don't know how many threads your multiplayer is going to need because they're not AI. So the game really doesn't have to expend resources to, you know, think about where they need to go and stuff. Now, I'm right now running the MX-5 Cup in career, right? So I don't know how many drivers are in the other series. But you could do an ad hoc race weekend with up to 32 opponents. I mean, PlayStation 5 does not have a whole ton of cores, so the game's got to be engineered for the PlayStation 5. right?
Timing started. Get a move on.
Yeah, back there, first time around, I accidentally downshifted into second. We're already down this lap, so we'll just take it easy. I want to try to get 2 good laps in at least.
10 minutes remaining in the session.
See where these guys end up. Playing on keyboard? Stupid hot, stupid hot. That is what I am hearing from some folks, including developers, is that the physics simulation is rather demanding on the CPU, which can be more demanding than the rendering thread. for the GPU.
Keep an eye on your speed, mate, and remember to hit your marks.
There we go. Oh, we're getting dark. Our headlights are coming on. It's gonna be a night race. Did I do 12 laps? I think I did. Is anybody out on track? Oh yeah, we can see the sunset. Now again, I'm gonna pimp our Saturday night racing league here in Project Motor Racing. We're not gonna start tomorrow. We're gonna start next week, obviously because the game does launch in a week. You do need to be a member of the Discord in order to participate in that. It's going to be using the MX-5 car simply because we've got a wide variety of folks who are going to be wanting to participate, and that's going to make it kind of the most accessible. We will have a fixed schedule, so we'll publish out a schedule of the races that we're going to run, and once a week we'll join the private server and go through practice, qualifying, and the race itself. We will be giving out points for your race results. Oh, it's the wall. And at the end of the season, we'll tally up all those points and see who our championship is. I think, well, I mean, in a few minutes, we're going to be running the race. You can get a general gist for it yourself, I think. I think it's fine. We can head out on the track a little bit. What am I doing? Maybe the dark. It's throwing me off. I haven't run the Nordschleife in years.
Remaining.
You definitely don't want to run low on fuel on that one. Yeah. I didn't want to be out on the track when time was up. That would just add to the weight.
Second flag this lap. Wrap it up. That's pole, mate. Fantastic job.
Yeah, great job. Thanks. We were fast in Sector 1, fast in Sector 2, fastest in Sector 3. I don't remember who was faster than me in practice. At any rate, there we go. Oh, let's see how bad I do the start. I haven't figured out how to do the start. Oh, we're on medium tires. Too late to change? Yep, too late to change. All right, you ready? I see no one else has nailed the start either, so that's good. How about we worry about cold tires? the bumpy track. Oh, shoot. I completely blew that.
Officials are aware.
Yeah, I'm definitely having some depth problems with the dark. Definitely can't drive the dark. Alright, let's concentrate a little bit. Oh, why not? No, it's not less bumpy down there.
You've got the fastest lap right now. Nice work.
Hmm. Did you see the marbles that were being thrown up?
You're at the halfway point. The back marker headed north of position. We get clean pass.
Totally messed that one up. I hit. What's up, sniper? They are kind of toasty. It'd be better if I wasn't trying to read chat.
Track limit violation confirmed by officials.
That's the big thing that I'm frustrated with, I guess, so far. Is you run wide, well, there's a 2-second penalty. You know, you blow a braking zone and you miss a turn, 2-second penalty. I did have something earlier where it wanted me to lower my speed to a certain mile per hour and maintain it for a period of time. Or I guess if I didn't do that, I would have had a penalty. Sliding all over the place. But I do have to say, Daytona looks great at night. No, we got 4 people in the server. The just messing around. I just kind of want to show how you can set up a public lobby, and you got some other folks to join. After this, we're going to do a 32-car AI race. I had some lack of concentration moments when I was trying to read chat and make sure I read what I thought I read. So we really lost touch with first. We're running right behind first for a while. Well, Sniper, this game doesn't come out till Tuesday. Alright, one more lap to go.
Last lap, white flag. Stay focused and give it your best shot.
We see the headlights off in the distance, so I guess in first place. But overall, the transition to dark really messed with my
Back market coming up is not
depth
position.
perception.
As soon as you can, we don't want to lose any time. That's a podium, mate. Lovely work.
So that's just the gist of a multiplayer race weekend. We could save the replay, we can view the replay, right? And it shuts the server down, bumps us back. So I guess if we wanted to run it again. No, we don't. I think the force feedback's fine. Probably could dial it up some more. I've only got probably 2 days of gameplay on this at this point. All right, let's do a race weekend I want to try Camaro. Yeah, why not? Let's run. Run Derby, because I have no idea where that is. Derbyshire. Nah, let's do Spa. We're gonna do Spa. I need to do a different car. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I've not run ACC in years. And when I did run ACC, it was mostly multiplayer. All right, 31 opponents. We're going to do a short practice, a short quali, and we're going to do a 10-minute race. Yeah, just to keep it short. Because we're getting up against the time frame here. Let's start at high noon. Let's do... What the hey? Let's do autumn. Hot autumn. Yep. No deviation. Here, we'll just do time. 10 degrees. There we go. I haven't run iRacing in even longer. I quit iRacing probably in 2018. Oh, hold on. There, we changed that. Oh, we do. We can actually see our mirror. So I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. a little bit. And then we will see how the CPU is faring with the AI. I don't think I've run this car since Sim Gaming Expo. And that was back in August. We weren't on this track. Don't worry too much, this is my lap 1 woes. Get off the sand. The build I have right now was released this morning. Maybe it's old. I just know it's a different build than I started earlier this week. Oh, let me butt you out of the way. Jeez. Just hip check me, why don't you? You're the little butt munch. Alright, let's do this. Spectate somebody. Task manager. So yeah, we got some core usage. For sure. The GT3 cars feel fine, but again, I'm not an avid sim racer. I'm not in a bunch of sims. I'm not in a car all the time that can say, yeah, this feels completely normal, or this feels completely off. They handle the way I expect them to handle. They drive the way I can predict them to drive. which is all I need. What's up, Gold Gaming? So I think we basically confirmed here that, yeah, we got some high AI count fields are going to put a load on your CPU. Now I've got 24 cores, 32 threads on this system. So I got cores and threads for days. And I'm limiting my frames to 90 simply so I'm not maxing out my GPU, because I do want to have some headroom for streaming, encoding, and things like that. I think we pretty much confirmed that you don't want to be low on the thread count or the core count. Tires and chassis. Alright, so all we have is hard tires. Alright, that's fine. Sure. Now, as far as force feedback goes, we can come in here and we not only adjust our feedback globally, but we also have the ability to adjust our feedback per car. With the steering setup, obviously we can make the steering faster or slower based on what we're doing here. We can adjust how the steering feels, and then we can adjust some feedback per car in this section. Really fine-tune what we want or what we're expecting. Now, I did turn the AI up to 80. The max is 100. Now, you want to tune your AI to a level that you're comfortable with. Jackass. There, I'll give you a bump. Now, in general, you do not want to be making car contact if you have damage turned on. I'm pretty sure I turned it off on this. Yes, with a wheel. I do not use a controller. I will say that the brakes are a bit touchy. Takes a bit getting used to. could just spin it around. Let's not get her in the sand trap. At least the sun's not glaring so bad on that hill. This is why you should really practice before you just jump into a regular car and stream with people. Alright, just playing the car to the pit stop so close. Because we got 32 cars on the grid.
No time set, we're at the back.
Yeah, we're at the back of the field. What I wanted.
Keep focused.
Alright, this ought to be exciting. Jeez, the parking lot. See the side pod shaking when we go over the bumps?
Officials flag a track limit violation. Yeah, but I'm really not worrying. I'm not concentrating that much. It's just... I really went into this to show you the CPU usage. officials.
Well, thank you. But this is not the car I like to run. I like the car I like to race. I just picked it for you guys. I would say it's for multiplayer. Single player is... Let's go into here. Yeah, let's pick this. So this is a GT3. See how many people are in this field. The career that I'm doing for recording has 8 cars is the field. So pretty low on the number of AI drivers. I want to see, this is a GT3, so different series. I want to see if it's still the 8 drivers or not. You can. Sock, I don't run sim racing with any regularity. I probably haven't run Spa in 3 years. I go through periods of running stuff and not. So what do we got? We got a field of 17 for this series.
Clear of pit lane.
I probably haven't run Monza in that many years also. I don't think I ran it in my Project Cars 2 stuff, which is the most recent. would say between 2015 and 2017, I was primarily sim racing over anything else. But then I got away from it because it was just too stressful. At that time period, I was doing a lot of iRacing stuff. So now it's just casual. Overcooked that one. Yeah, that is exactly what I would tell my kid.
All clear.
Hey, it even looks better on iRacing. I know I hit the limiter.
Timing screen has you at the top.
That was terrible. Ah, that's good enough.
P2 on the grid, fantastic job and a strong spot for the race.
All right, what do we got? 12 lap race. Yeah, sure. Let's do this, and then we'll call it a night. I've yet to figure out how to properly start here. I always seem to get swamped. Just about any car I run. Oh. Oh, he's killing me back there. Jeez. Good thing I got damage turned off. will be streaming tomorrow night, same bat time. We're going to be putting out recorded videos. We're doing a journeyman career, starting with the MX-5 Cups. Taking a long grind road. And then every Saturday, starting next week, we will be doing a multiplayer stream for anyone in our Discord. I think I did pin the link to the Discord up in chat. We're going to have drivers of all skill levels, so we're going to be doing the MX-5 for now. Freaking serious. And we'll have a schedule. We'll run again on Saturday nights starting this week. We'll give points for finishes. And at the end of the schedule, we'll see who our champion is. So the gist is, it's not every track. They just didn't get the licensing for some of the tracks. Like this one. Like Mid-Ohio is Lexington. And Silverstone is something. Maybe it comes down to the track wanted too much money. Maybe the track didn't want to license it because it's an unknown franchise. Who knows what the details are around why they couldn't get the name and licensing. I've not run most cars, so I can't really comment. Plus, I don't know how the cars sound in other games. So again, I can't really comment on that. if you're like me and you struggle with car setups, from what I understand, on release, there's going to be over 250 curated car setups available through the in-game downloadable content menu. So that's a nice thing, that you're not just stuck floundering trying to come up with a good car setup if you really don't understand the terminology and what the settings do. Jeez, dude. Oh. Monza is Bronza, and Spa is Spa. So Monza's Bronza. Then we have Canadian Motorsport Park, Spa, Daytona, Derby. I don't know what Derby is. I might have to race Derby and see if I remember it. We have Kalami. Lexington is Mid-Ohio. Lime Rock Park, Mount Panorama, Silverstone, Nuremberg, Nürburgring, Nuremberg, 24 Hours. San Marino is in Italy. This is going to be the... Oh, I'm terrible with names. So I don't remember the name of this one. But it's the it's the other Italian circuit. And then we have Sebring. Imola. That's it. We have Spielberg. This is this is a Red Bull Ring. And we have San Paulo. And we have Zolder. So those are all the tracks on release. That's going to conclude our live stream for the night. We went into overtime quite a bit. We typically try to run for about 2 hours. I'll be live streaming tomorrow night here at Project Motor Racing as well. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be a video drop, which is going to be our second race in our MX5 Trophy Championship. We are taking the journeyman path with respect to our recorded series. I started this career just to kind of show you how the careers went and everything. You do have 3 save slots, and you come in here and delete your slot out. It's a little depressing. We only have 3. But yeah, we got 3 save slots. There will be day 1 mods. As I mentioned already, we have liveries, we have vehicles, we have events that people can create. And from what I understand, on launch, there will also be car setups in that category as well. So do keep tuned to the channel. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. We are trying to grow this, which is our secondary channel. Until next time, keep those wheels between the lines.